All right, so we're back in the Morton building. Since I'm back in Colorado to do the Rupes Advanced training, Nick's going to give us an update on some of the progress he made. I guess I'll have to come back here soon to get the finished project, but we'll take you through all the new progress that we have here. Here's what the completed wall manifolds up into Cox hose reels, ear clamp protectors. And then of course their power reels. All easy coils, so they retract. We'll show you that in a minute, but they all retract slowly in controlled fashion. And of course we have the swiveling couplers, which are awesome. I don't know, the green and blue I think looks cool.
I know, I like it. Yeah. I did the air hoses in green and the water hoses in blue.
So you put blocking on the wall to mount that too.
Yeah, so up there, I spanned the trusses with like 2x10s, and then like teed the wood on the top of the 2x10 so it'd stay nice and stiff. And then right here, since it's like a interior structure, it's on a header. It goes up pretty smooth.
That's the disadvantage of us doing a bigger, more stout hose, is sometimes you have to reroute.
Those are pretty good though.
Yeah, I hadn't done any on the wall, I did them on the ceiling.
Yeah, that was kind of a last minute choice. I'm glad I did it. I didn't know how close I wanted to get to each other, but since I'm kind of confined to the channels of the ribs for the metal, it was either, you know, here, or here and over there. Yeah. And I think that when all is said and done, I'm going to have a ladder that hooks up there that's on one of those, I don't know what you call it, like librarians would use, so I can climb up there with storage stuff. So the ladder will probably live right here. And then I think this is where this is going to live. I didn't actually anchor it to the concrete yet. It's not going anywhere, and I feel like every time it's on, the user has their finger on the button.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't anchored it yet, but this one works pretty well.
Every time I want to be able to work on the part and then wash it on the side with my garage smaller. So if I put Swiss tracks underneath, then the water can drain underneath.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, do you know, since this is the recessed, or this is the flush mount version, did they give you some additional height?
No.
On this versus mounting on the concrete so we lose 4 inches?
I think that's the case. Yeah. I'm not the tallest guy, but I think I'm like 5'9" or 5'10", and
yeah,
the blocks help a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly feels like the same height as mine, and mine's sitting on top of the darn concrete. Because the twin bush is rated at 72 inches maximum height, and these are 70.
Yeah. Did we figure that within the after the pockets, it was 5'8", and then we have it on blocks.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm probably gonna get some little bit taller blocks anyway, because I found a few times that I've played with it, I kind of have to, especially with these BMW ones with the little inserts, I have to kind of run around and line them up. So I might get some higher ones so I can actually insert it in and then just raise the whole thing.
Yeah.
But worked out pretty well. We lowered them in with, my neighbor brought his tractor over that has a hydraulic bucket.
Yeah.
And like 10 minutes later, it just drops them in.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
And then you put the Swiss tracks underneath.
Yeah, I did that, so when I put the Swiss tracks on the top, then these will just be totally level with the Swiss tracks. So I made the concrete pocket exactly 6 inches depth, which is what the manufacturer recommended. And then knowing that I was gonna have Swiss tracks on the top, I offset the bottom too.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're 50,000 or 70,000 pound rolling weight rated, so.
Are they?
Yeah, we should be
the
good.
Swiss tracks? Mm-hmm. I was wondering about that. I did a couple little PSI calcs, and with so much square inches, it's like nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's less than one.
Yeah, so they're rated for 70,000 pounds rolling weight. So you only have 5,000, if that.
Yep. Yeah, with all the square inches in here, what did I calculate? It's 0.9 psi.
Yeah, or 1 psi or something. Before he lifted up a car, I was like, wait a second. And then I just like did a quick little calculation. It's like, oh, we're good. All right, lift.
Yeah, it's not like all the weight, like the weight on the car is distributed through those two little points, but
Right.
on the lift,
Exactly.
you're distributing the pressure across that entire beam.
Yep. I ended up spacing them a little bit further apart. I think I asked Chris to take a measurement at your headquarters, and he told me yours are 30 inches apart and mine are 40 inches apart. So it spreads it out a little bit more for like the sports cars, but we were finding that for his like F-150 and
Trucks,
some
yeah.
trucks and small SUVs, their jack points are like closer to between 40 and 44 inches. So I'm like right on the edge. So one of the guys from BenPack is fabbing me up some little prototype arms that grab right here, reach around, and then extend 6 inches on the inside. And he's going to send them to me, and if they work well, then they're going to start selling them.
Like the F-150,
Yeah.
since it's body on frame, structural frame rails are kind of in here for a truck, as opposed to a sports car where the jack points are way out here. Basically any unibody car. So the F-150, it would be jacking right on the inside lip, or maybe even a little bit inside.
What about, what do you do when you have like a 5 Series that's super long on this lift? It's longer than that section.
I don't know. I haven't entertained that
I
yet.
just figured that out this past week.
So I'd have one that the jack point's like out here, you mean?
Yeah. I had that, so I had that, because I put the little ramps, the little drive-up ramps, like, because mine's sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
And shoot, I can't, because I have the little extension little fingers that, that go on the edge here, that the little things that kind of hang down and flip up. So on all my cars, they just hang. But then I put a 5 Series, and I had to get it on the extension. And so what I did is I backed up the car, I brought the lift up, like a few inches, put the, engaged the extensions, and then I put it back down and just kind of hopped up on it. Yeah.
I think they make extenders.
Well, it looks like, they've got the hardware for it. Did you put the AMG on this yet?
I haven't.
Because it might have a longer jack point, so you might have to figure that out.
It's really slow. Did yours go this slow?
You can adjust it.
Yeah.
It's probably in the back side of the hydraulic tank. There's an adjustment.
This one?
Yeah, but slower is, what else you got to do, Slower is less scary.
I know with your setup video, there was a bit of a dance to get them level.
Yeah.
And I felt like I had that same issue when I was using just the weight of the ATV.
Yeah.
But when I got this on there, I called BenPack and they said that the design of this is self-leveling. And they said just go up and down 6 times or whatever. And sure enough, I didn't do any adjustments.
Yeah, the twin bush is a darn nightmare. I spent probably 6 hours leveling it. At least. Then I finally got it almost right, and I'm like, I think I can make it a little better. And then
Yeah, so I think it'll be pretty good when this goes in. It's just like a sample, but that's darn near flat.
yeah. It's gonna be great.
This is like a functionality thing. Last time you guys were here, the garage doors weren't like hooked up and working yet. So I got those all dialed. Had to get some thicker seals here to make it seal appropriately, and did the lower and upper stop limits so it doesn't hit the lights. So hopefully it'll stop like 2 inches short. Just like that. Gives me enough height.
Yeah.
So my next big project is I've been working with a guy to do a retaining wall out there. So
Need more turning radius.
yep, I don't know if it's going to be one big wall or if it's going to be tiered, but the dirt's going to go out another 5 or 6 feet. So it's pretty quiet though. I've been happy with these.
Yeah, I love these openers. They're so good.
This header is really long. We're having trouble getting the door to seal against the normal garage door seal, so we put that big fat black rubber strip at the top. I don't know if you can see it from where you're standing, but that kind of helped it sandwich down against it. And then we got the compressed air. It's kind of like identical to the one you have by your lift, right?
Yep.
Just like a little hose holder.
Gotta get this up and installed. We'll be working on this over the next couple of weeks.
These have been, all this stuff, first shot was airtight.
Yeah.
I didn't have any leaks. If I keep it at a pretty high PSI, like 145 or something, and I leave all these open, I do find in the morning that
Tank drains.
it didn't drain, but if I shut the valve on the tank, just the air in the lines will go down 10 or 15 PSI. So I think it's probably leaking maybe a little bit past these seals, but it's almost imperceivable. So I've just been leaving these shut, and then it stays airtight the whole time.
Yeah, okay. You sure it's not the lift? Because I feel like my lift is where I lose all my air on mine.
Could be. Could be.
Because my lift purges. Like, I don't know why, just randomly. After like 10 hours, it'll just purge the air. It's weird. I don't know.
I think I watched your Twin Bush video a bunch, looking in the bend pack. Maybe sophisticated is not the right word, but I don't know if that's quite it. There's not a regulator in there.
Really?
There's not a bunch of valves to fuss with. It seemed a little simpler in there. I don't know. But yeah, these are nice. This is the one that I texted you about, where I took off these boots and put a little strip of electrical tape behind there so these boots don't move on me.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that immediately. That's genius.
It's pretty stiff. They don't.
I was worried about super gluing it, because what happens if I want to take it off?
Exactly.
Or adjust it or change the ear clamp or something?
Yeah, this just gave it you can even see where the band is right there. It just gives it a little bit more diameter and a little bit more friction, but the thing is awesome.
And that's the PLA HR, little hose holder. Love that thing.
Got the flush flow hooked up, which is pretty cool. I think I'm gonna put like a pair of I don't know, like pantyhose or something around that catch so it catches all the fine soot. Right now I put that pool basket in there, but that's pretty janky. But watch when I turn on this flush flow valve, a whole bunch of water will come out of there and bring all the soot with it. There's, as you know, the flow for the pressure washer is so minimal that, like, while it's running, it's just trickling down.
Right,
so to really get all the soot out of there, I have to run that flush valve. So I'm glad that I got it. And now I can tell some soot's still coming out, but it's mostly
keeps it off.
clear. Yeah.
You'll need that less in the summer.
Yeah. So we got all this stuff hooked up now, but we're gonna have MDF in here, and this is just temporarily placed, but this is just tapping off the cold water, and then I just turn this on to flush the slot drain.
Yep.
And then it runs through this PEX down into the concrete and over. So it just kind of dances over top of the radiant floor heating, and then the concrete's on top of it. I got these pressed. I think it looks pretty good.
Pro Press stainless fittings, 3-way or 4-way valve, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 4-way valve. I don't know if you can zoom in on that, but the end of this valve shows you the configuration of the ports. So this one is a T port, so you see a line vertical and one line over to the left. So right now, the way I have it configured is it's blocking off the deionized filter and just going straight up this way. And it's also coming over this way, but then I have it blocked off over here. So it's just going up through to the pressure washer. And then I was telling these guys earlier, eventually I'm gonna have a hose company do probably an on-site visit to make these connections that you gave me the terminations for. But right now I have it like running around the side and up through the attic, and then it's hooked up to the boom pole, and then same thing, I have all the length just coiled up there. I think it's on. I think that's actually, I've left it on all day long and I don't have a single drip, so that's pretty good.
Yep.
But
How hard did you have to work at it to get no leaks?
I didn't do anything really.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even really honk on these terminations here because these are kind of temporary. I'm going to take them off and get the hose shorter.
Yeah.
So I was being a little bit gentle with them, knowing I was going to take them apart, and they still didn't leak.
Yeah.
But
Lots of tape.
Yeah, this boom is a game changer. Not tripping on the cords and stuff.
That's so awesome, yeah.
So I'm gonna play with the length of it, but
So length, the generality is from end of the boom to the floor plus 3 feet. That's the general consensus.
straight down,
Yeah.
and 3 feet.
So straight down, so from where it hangs, right at the osmotic swivel there to the floor plus 3 feet.
So it'd be more like this.
Right.
I have it a little long.
And you can kind of play with it. The advantage for it to be long is if you had like the truck in here and you didn't want to pull it all the way centered and you wanted it slightly off. But I now have a proper length hose, and I tell you, it makes a big difference.
I like
Because
that.
mine was dragging on the ground for the longest time.
This is a little too long.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that truck is longer than I even pictured it being.
Yeah.
When we pull this truck in here, it's like, in the summertime, we'll just open the doors and it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
But right now, when I'm trying to keep everything locked down, I mean, the nose of it comes like out here and the slot drains over there. So there's a little bit of a leaf blower activity at the end. Yeah, this thing's sweet. I'm really glad I got this boom. In the grand scheme of things, that boom is not very expensive.
Yeah. It was what, $700 or something like that?
Less.
Yeah.
I think it was less than that. I think it was like $560.
Yeah, it's not all that sophisticated, but other than the bearing in it, that's amazing. Once we got the right fitting, I figured out that they send it's a G fitting on top. And so that adapter is like a 1/4 inch to 3/8 G adapter. So it converts G to, which is parallel thread, to NPT. That's what we were missing when they sent it to us.
Watch the hole there. Yeah, when they sent it, it's a pretty cool little fitting because the top of the fitting swivels, and
Yep.
the bottom of the fitting you screw in with an Allen screw.
Yep.
So it's a pretty clever little screw, and then plug for the side of it, and then it was good. Obviously, there was a decent amount of planning to get it dropped down and miss the garage door and everything like we talked about last time, but I've been really happy with this thing in the few days I've had it hooked up.
Then this doing 68 dB is not obnoxious. It's not crazy loud.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me that much. This outlet got put right at the right place too.
Yeah.
It's like totally symmetrical with the corner of the shelf. So I'll probably do a.
Yeah, open up the thing and shorten the cord. Yeah.
So-
Don't do it the way I did it.
Saw some folks shorten it from here, but it
You
looked
can do it
easier
either
to
way.
shorten it from here. I don't know, we'll see. I got this from you. So I'm going to mount the Ely hose reel probably somewhere around here. And then if I need something other than the pressure that the pressure washer delivers, then I'll have that.
Yeah, it'll look pretty on your wall for a long time.
Now when we use it. I have been liking
Be watering the flowers outside.
after I do a wash in here that I kind of go around the outside of the car and rinse all the dirt towards the drain.
Yeah.
So I could see having a garden hose be better at doing that than maybe the
More flow, get the job done quicker.
certainly.
So then you got your bucket filler all set up.
Yep.
Hot cold, create hot cold bib.
Yeah, this thing has been nice. I did a wash this morning and I just turned this on, and by the time the hot water actually got hot and filled up the whole bucket, it was like perfect temp to dip the hand in. The boiler that serves the radiant floor heating does insta hot water too. So there's no tank, I have it set for 110, I think.
And for your dribble, you just leave it over your drain.
Yeah.
Right there. Nice. I love that. That's my favorite part of this whole freaking garage.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah.
Wait, could you say that again real quick?
That's my favorite part of this entire garage.
That's what I'm
That was
talking
your
about.
idea.
It was his idea.
I want one.
I was like, why do I need a floor sink when there's a slot drain right there? And he's like, just do it. So there it is.
Yeah.
It's nice though when you have a bucket with 5 gallons in it, and you can just kind of full force just pour the whole thing down there.
Yep.
Whereas the slot drain, if I gave this a go,
Yeah,
the Swiss tracks will help. But when
Yeah.
it's just concrete, it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
So you're doing Swiss tracks in here, everywhere?
Yeah. I'm not gonna do it until I get the asphalt in, because right now, as you guys saw, it's just a dusty mess. And so I'm gonna wait till the asphalt goes in, which they told me is like mid-May is safe here. Which is still a little while, but it'll come up quick. The ground estimate, they said it has to, the average ground temp needs to be over 40 degrees and we have to be like out of snow season. So, yeah, that's pretty sweet. Buckets are doing nice. I don't have a nozzle on the end of this yet. Fire hose nozzle.
Well, tell Dixon Valve to let me buy them. So then we've got, here's what the little pigtail hose, a little coil hose looks like. I like these little 3-post. They're pretty cheap too. I think it was only like $30, $37 or something like that.
Yeah.
You can get them in any lengths. I have those in stock too. They're
Longer than this?
any length you want.
I should get a couple longer ones.
I think they do 13 feet, 20 feet, 26 feet, and I think 32 feet.
Yeah, these things are so stout. It took me a little while to get the first one in, but once I got the hang of it,
Yeah.
and the little tool that they give for tightening these fittings also has a little insertion depth gauge on it. So you just use the gauge they give you, take a measurement from top to bottom, add the insertion depth, cut it, and it's really easy. I thought about it for longer than it took me to hook them up.
And then press the pop that loose. Just
This guy?
slow release. Yeah, double release. So cool.
Whoops.
I was fighting with all the husky fittings they have at Rufus. I said I gotta get them spun.
Yeah, these are awesome. And then this one, we didn't do the swivel. We just did a straight up.
Yeah, but it's still
Which is-
swivels left to right, just not in fluid. Yeah.
Yeah, the
hose has a swivel, the bearing swivel inside. If you hold this here and turn, you can turn the whole plastic. So the whole thing swivels too. Yeah.
3 swivels.
You got enough swivels to.
And then this rotates too.
And then the whole of this stuff, it showed me the plug, how the hole's bigger. So the inlet to these, we have less parasitic loss because that hole is bigger than your standard industrial fitting or true flate, or I think this area would be true flate would be the standard. So these have a much bigger hole. It's zero high flow.
I like them. OSHA compliant.
That's because if you stick your hand on the end of it, yeah.
You don't blow a hole through your skin.
Right.
I think it actually
Did not know that.
Yeah, these little sides.
That's what that's all about, yeah.
That's cool.
yeah.
So you can't hurt yourself.
That is pretty. Oh, I see. Because the nozzle sticks a little bit past those holes. So if you don't plug it, there's like no flow. Smart.
That's the same one you have at HQ, Matt?
Yeah.
Let's see if I'm gonna.
I figured out what my tank drain's all about. The one that I have that you don't have. Mine
did?
has a pneumatic tank drain. That's what that copper pipe is on the side.
Coming out the right side.
Correct. So what that does is, I took all the drain crap I have off and now I've got it figured out. So you're just going to put an electronic tank drain on.
Down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do a little comparison. Here's the volume of the canister for the vacuum. That was 145 to 175.
Yeah. 650 RPMs.
How long does it take start to finish to fill up the...
Probably for 4 or 5 minutes.
I've never tried actually because each night I've been just shutting this valve.
Yeah.
So if I have any losses, it's not happening. And then I've just kind of been doing this dance between 150 and 180, and so that's the longest I've heard it run. I guess when it first started, I think I left 4 or 5 minutes and
Yeah.
then came back and it was done.
So Matt, is this 61 just as loud as this one, or
Which
the
one?
60 gallon?
Yeah, it would be the same. When you get into like 2 horse, the 2 horsepower and the 3 horsepowers are a little bit louder because they operate at a little higher RPM.
This regulator is pretty nice.
Yeah, they're cool, aren't they?
Yep. Sometimes I play with it just because it's satisfying. lock in the
That's the Alto 3. So this flows like 145 CFM. We're only doing like 28.
Oh wow.
But so you don't need half-inch lines for this, but why not? It's only like, I think this is $97. It looks a lot nicer than $97, I think.
Do you know, I was going to ask you, do you know, is the point of these little adapters just so you don't eventually honk up the threads within the body of the regulator itself?
No, I think you can put different type, or different sizes on left to right, and you can. It also allows you to flip it around.
Because this
That
half-inch
line,
MPT could
you
just
could
thread
just
right
go
into
in,
it without
yeah.
the adapter.
I think it also adds some stability to it.
It's a pretty slick little design how they use those
It's like a
45 and
little
wedge it
grant-
together.
Little gator jaw that clamps on.
So I'll do. I haven't hooked up the air dryer yet, but I finally got all the fittings for it. So I'll do the whole thing that you did,
Yep.
and then I still have some more pre-Boston lines. So once I get this all outlined in white MDF, then I'll probably come down here and maybe the regulator will be sitting right there, and then come up like
And there's
that.
a T316 stainless, which of course we don't need, but
It looks-
it's extra flexible. It's so awesome. I love those things.
And inside here, the actual line itself is stainless on the inside, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a rubber hose in there.
Correct. Yeah, it's like a it's almost like a snake skin where it's like an accordion style inner lined T316 inner whatever. So you'll never get any rust.
I think it's sweet.
Yeah.
This? Yeah.
Yeah, the hot water is working now. Radiant floors
on.
is still doing its thing. We didn't,
Yeah.
same as last time, we haven't hooked up the actuators,
You know, for airlines,
but
the copper pipe.
it's working well. This is the back side of the pressure washer wall. So I did some backing to screw the shelf in the Cox hose reel into it. And then the here's the lines for the hose bib, the hot cold hose bib, and then this is the one that feeds the pressure washer. So I had to go from PEX to stainless, Wurzbo here to stainless, then to the Pro Press, and then punched it through. So other than this hose getting shortened and going right into the Cox reel, I'm pretty much done with the plumbing.
Yeah, that's all stuff you can pretty much get at Home Depot.
So they sell on your PVC piping. They sell
This PEX stuff?
yeah. So but they sell an adapter to convert to threaded NPT.
Yep. Yep. So that's this guy right here. Obviously you can't see the part that's inserted, but it's
Is it a barb fitting like kind of?
yeah. Yeah, it looks much like that. These rings are from Upanor and the PEX is from Rayhow, and then they go together with this tool that kind of spins and stretches them out. And then once you put it on, then the material itself shrinks back down around it. It's a pretty effective joint. We're on the calendar to get this drywalled and taped and textured on April the 8th. That's like a month out.
Mini split.
Yeah, that'll go up in the summertime when it starts to feel like we want air conditioning in here,
Yeah.
which right now we don't. Little kick bucket trash cans. I saw these at a dermatologist office and then took a picture of them, found them and bought them, but they're kind of cool. They go with the look of the rest of the stuff. But I got a utility sink. I've been pretty happy with this one. So this all got plumbed in this week. So again, this has the Insta-Hot, all the circuits, or all the outlets in the whole garage. I hadn't seen this before, but instead of having GFCI switches on the actual outlet themselves, all the breakers have a GFCI.
Yeah. They don't look as ugly.
And then I got this that you told me not to get, but we'll see.
I'd be interested to see how it works.
Billy likes it
Yeah.
at Presidential. He said he's been happy with it. I asked him for a little update after he's owned it for a while, and he said it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a pedestal and throw it on the pedestal so it's a little bit
The idea
more.
behind that, explain that. It does both.
This guy?
It's a washer and dryer.
Yeah, this is a washer dryer combo unit. It's 110 volt outlet instead of 220. It's ventless, so there's no vent punched through the wall to go outside. So it seemed like a pretty slick solution for this type of area where it's going to be like out in the open. I just got it plumbed up a couple days ago, so I haven't even run the first load yet. But yeah, I guess the idea, you know, you can set your cycles on both sides. And it has pretty good capacity, especially for what we're doing in here, washing stuff. And then, you know, it runs the rinse cycle and then evacuates the water and runs the dry cycle. And then when you come back, it's done.
What's the cost on it?
I got it from Home Depot and I think like shipped, and I got the little warranty deal, but it's like $2,100.
That's not bad for a package too.
So I think it's a pretty slick little unit. And then I guess that's kind of it. Did we do anything else, Tim?
You got our other hose reels in the ceiling.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to scuff up his new hose like that.
All right, let's do it. There you go.
These actually do work better over time when they're scuffed up.
Just like that.
And then you got power. And then we talked about our lighting. And then we got some other wall manifolds over here.
Yep. Little drains on the bottom of them. Every once in a while, I've never had any fluid come out of there yet.
Yeah, well, you don't have any air or water in your air here. So I'm drying out. I need some lotion right now.
You want some water? And then this dude, you guys already saw that. Before you guys showed up, we ran this over the whole floor and just vacuumed everything up. It was pretty effective.
All right, so there you go, an update. I guess I'm gonna have to come back out here and get the final, when he gets the driveway in and the Swiss tracks and everything done.
I don't see a horsepower rating on it, but I mean, it's an 8-inch electric motor.
So awesome, makes me want to do mine right now. Till I think about all the work he's had to do to get it to this point. So, thanks for watching the update. Catch you soon. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.